Hi everyone, I'm Riley from Echidna Sewing. Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a slip pillowcase. This slip pillow cover is a great beginner project and a super easy way to decorate your house with a touch of personalization. We recommend starting out by making this slip pillowcase with a cotton fabric or a non-stretch fabric. But for sewers looking for a bit more of a challenge, try making these out of velvet, sequins, brocade, or try adding some tassels or pom-poms around the edges. The machines I'm using in this video are the NV50S and the Juki MO114D. And here is everything else that you're going to need for this project. You can check out down below for the full list, but do make sure you have a pillow insert you want to use before starting this project, as you'll need to base the measurements off your chosen pillow. Now let's get into it. Firstly, you'll need to work out the dimensions of your pillow, as we're going to cut one continuous piece, which will include the overlapping slip that sits inside. My pillow insert width and length is 14 inches by 14 inches. So I'm going to base the following steps off of these measurements. Your measurements may be different, but the process is still the same. It's also a good idea to have a pen and paper nearby to write down all of these on too. So start by halving your width. For me, it'll be 7. This is our first measurement, so write that down. The second measurement will be your original width. For me, that's 14. I'm going to write that next to my first measurement. Then the third measurement will be your first measurement plus 3 inches, which will end up being 10 inches for me. That 3 inches will form the inside flap of your slip pillowcase. Now keep these measurements in order, so 7, 14, 10. Now we're going to add ½ inch onto the first and third measurements for the fold and seam allowance. So then my final measurements will be 7.5, 14, and 10.5. If you add those numbers up, you will have the total width of your piece, which means mine will be 32 inches. Then all you need to do is add ½ inch to your length measurement. Mine was 14, so my total length will be 14.5. Now using the measurements, you can cut out your fabric piece to your required dimensions. Mine's going to be 32 inches by 14.5 inches. And make sure you iron your fabric to remove any wrinkles before you cut it. The next step is to overlock the 2 short sides of the pillowcase. If you don't have an overlocker, you can use a zigzag or an overlocking stitch on your sewing machine. Now that your short sides are overlocked, you'll need to turn over both of the overlocked edges about ½ inch and press them flat with your iron. Now you can top stitch these folds flat with a 3mm straight stitch and as close to the overlocked edge as possible. Once you have folded and stitched the sides, grab your friction pen and starting from the left side, you're going to refer back to those measurements that we took earlier and mark a point at your first measurement. For me, it's 7 inches, so I'm going to measure 7 inches from the edge of my left side, top and bottom, and mark a line directly down on the wrong side of my fabric. From that line, mark your second measurement, top and bottom. Mine will be 14 inches. Alright, and that last section should be your third measurement, which is 10 inches for me. I'm just going to double check that that's pretty accurate. Now flip over your fabric so the right side is facing up. making sure that you don't rotate your piece of fabric, which means that first measurement should still be on the left. Now again, starting from the left, you're going to fold over your fabric until you reach that first line, and you're going to press with your iron. Now fold your fabric over from the right until you reach the other line you've marked. Then press that fold with your iron as well. Your folded over edges should now overlap each other in the middle of the piece, and just pin or clip these top and bottom edges to secure them ready for you to sew together. Then you can sew the top and bottom seams together using a 1/4 inch seam allowance and a straight stitch. Before you start sewing, I've just switched over from my standard zigzag presser foot to my 1/4 inch presser foot. If you don't have a 1/4 inch pressing foot, you can still use the standard zigzag, but just follow the 1/4 inch marking on the back of the needle plate. Once stitched together, go ahead and overlock those two edges. Next, you can trim down the seam allowance slightly in each corner on an angle to reduce the bulk. Just like that. After that, you can turn your pillowcase right side out and give the seams a press to make them nice and flat. Once I've turned that right side out, I'm just going to grab my purple fang and just poke those edges out nice and sharp. And there is your finished slip pillowcase. Now, if you're interested in any of the products that we use in this video, feel free to check out our website for more information, and don't forget to tag us on Instagram so we can see your slip pillowcases too. Thanks for watching and happy sewing!